All right, welcome back. Clint Fuqua, the Health Engineer, right here on the Health Engineer Show. And in life, when you're walking through the jungle of life, you are one of three things. You're either a bystander, you're a witness, or you're a leader and protector. And what do I mean by that? Well, that means you're either just there, you're witnessing everything, or you're the protector for all those people that are there, all the bystanders, all the witnesses, which means usually you have something in your pockets or on you, which is normally a firearm. That's right, we're gonna talk about some firearm safety today with my buddy Rick Kolster, who is a licensed firearm instructor and a leadership coach. So we're gonna talk about the role of mentality around that, the training, the discipline, and responsibility around that, because with great power comes great responsibility. I'm sure you've heard that before in some great movies, right? So we're gonna get into those things, why you need to be physically fit, mentally fit, and emotionally fit if you choose to take on that role of leadership, because it is a major role of leadership and responsibility for you and the people around you. That's your family, your friends, and just the people that may be in the store, right? So we're gonna go through that. We're gonna go over some of the legal stuff with that, because that is a major, major piece here. And well, why somebody would choose to do that, and why so many people, in fact, 700 million people have chosen to do that in this country this year. That's right, a lot of people. So we're gonna get into that. We're gonna come in, so roll up your sleeves with me. Come in, we're gonna share the bald truth with my buddy Rick Kolster about firearms, firearm safety, and why, if you choose to do it, you need to train and train and train and train and realize you're a leader for everybody in their lives when we do that.
Clint Fuqua is the Health Engineer, dishing up healthcare reform through personal responsibility in the areas of nutrition, discipline, and fitness. Clint cuts through misunderstood health theory with over 35 years of practical results. Start taking control of your health today with the Health Engineer. Here's your host, Clint Fuqua.
Okay, we're back. Clint Fuqua, the Health Engineer, right here on the Health Engineer Show on Offbeat Business Media Network, and welcome to the jungle. Actually, today we're gonna roll our sleeves up and we're gonna get to work with this guy right here, Mr. Rick Kolster. And we're gonna talk about some awesome stuff today that you really need to know about some firearm safety and stuff that you need to know about firearms if you're going to carry one, if you're not, all that stuff. Make your own choice on that. And otherwise, Rick, how you doing?
I'm great. Thanks for having me, Clint.
Yeah, thanks for coming on. And I was on your podcast not too long ago.
Yeah, about a month or so ago, yeah.
So, because you have a podcast, which is The Bald Truth.
It's the Bald Truth Leadership Podcast. Yeah, it's available on all major platforms.
Yeah, and we've known each other now since about 2010.
Yeah, almost 10, 11 years now.
Yeah, so it's been a while.
It's been a good ride.
Yeah, you've gotten some extra. I've got a little more gray. We're still the same size, which is great. You actually have gotten in better shape since then.
I have. Yeah. I've actually been training a little bit harder and cut a couple pounds and feel a little better. As I get older, you got to take care of that body.
Yeah, and we're going to talk about that later on in the show about what you've been doing for training and the reason for training, health and wellness, because it's a health and wellness show. Let's start off. So your main job, what you do is you do a lot of leadership training. So give everybody some insights into what you've been doing like the past 20 years in that.
Well, 18 years ago, I started a company called the Peak Performance Group, and it was designed to help leaders become better leaders. It's a leadership development, leadership and team building company. We help young leaders become great leaders and prepare them for the future. So that's our core business of what we do, is really helping people develop into the best that they can be themselves, help them maximize their own personal potential, so that what they can do is they can now take that next step in their careers, whether it's personal or professional, whatever it takes.
Yeah, I know you do a lot on both sides of that for personal development, which bleeds into professional development. Because if you don't do personal, then professional just doesn't happen, right?
Well, you're absolutely right. I believe that personal leadership leads into formal leadership.
Yeah.
And as a certified coach, I'm a life and business coach. It allows me to help guide people and really balance that life that they need. Because if, like I always say, if you're having a bad day at home, you're probably having a bad day at work. And if you have a bad day at work, you're probably bringing it home. So nobody's happy. And if nobody's happy, it ain't no fun.
Exactly. Yeah. And so, we talked a little bit about that before the show and talking about, the different you got the boomers, you got the millennials, Gen Z, and all that stuff. We'll talk about that a little bit later on.
Okay.
But with leadership, I know you've worked with a lot of military, a lot of ex-military, and you've gotten into you help out with weapons training now.
Yes, we've expanded our training into firearms training and firearm safety training. We're able to help people understand how to safely handle a firearm, because that's the most important part. Safety, safety, safety. When we talk about firearms, we are talking about a weapon, or also it's important to know how to handle it safely. And that's one of my passions. I've been shooting competitively since my 20s. Took a break and picked it back up. I said, okay, what can I do to give back to the community at some point? So I decided that I was going to take the next step. I became a certified firearms instructor, and we teach safety, home defense fundamentals, concealed carry fundamentals, how to carry, how to protect yourself at home, and most importantly, how to protect yourself in today's crazy world.
Oh yeah, and most people don't realize it is about self-defense, and it's a great equalizer for anybody if you know what you're doing and everything else. So I know you and a lot of people know that my background is my dad's law enforcement. Actually, my entire family is law enforcement military. So I've been around weapons and stuff my entire life, and the reasons for usage, not usage, defense, all that stuff, and what you should do if you're going to carry in the training and everything else. And so I've actually been leading up to this show with the last couple of shows. I don't know if anybody's realized that, but that was kind of a trend I've been pushing towards on this, because it is a huge issue right now, okay? Mostly because of all the gun rights stuff that's going on. We'll kind of get into that stuff, but I want to talk more about the safety aspect of it, the defense aspect of it, and what people need to know about, because we've got a record number of gun owners now, right?
Absolutely.
We were going over the numbers for this earlier.
Last year, we had over 7 million new gun owners that came into the marketplace, and we'll talk a little bit about that, what the effect was.
Yeah.
But I always teach, the first thing I teach every one of my students when we have a handgun class is this: the only gunfight you're guaranteed to win is one you don't get in. Just like a fist fight. And at any time of self-defense, it's really more important not to get into it. And I highly recommend that as a last line of defense. You don't get into a fight, you can't get hurt. No one gets hurt. Walk away. So really what we teach is really about situational awareness. There's a Captain Jack Wilson, years and years and years ago, came up with his color codes. And we teach that: white, yellow, orange, and red. So most people are white. And what we're seeing today is, what do we say? Walk around with your phone. Everybody's got their face, hand in their phone, their phone. They're unaware. So ladies and guys, but you're walking out of Walmart, you're in the parking lot, and here you are. Where's your face? Your face is in your phone. You're texting your friends. You're pushing your carriage. That's when something can happen.
Yep.
But if you're aware of your surroundings, you have situational awareness, you can see that something's wrong. And I always say, people, your intuition is always right. If it feels weird, if something's going on, the hair in the back of your neck stands up, something's going on, pay attention, put your head on a swivel, be in that yellow category. Not that you're freaked out, you're just kind of aware of your surroundings.
You know what's going on. You know what's lurking around in the jungle. I love the jungle theme today.
Yeah, it's a cool jungle. But you think about it, and you don't take those unnecessary chances. You don't go down dark alleys. People go, oh, it's a shortcut to get to my car. Well, you know what? Shortcut is where the bad guys are going to be.
Yep.
So if you never put yourself in a situation, you're never going to have to defend yourself. Now, if you do, you want to be properly trained. That's the most important part. And that's what we work on, is the what in case, just in case, what happens. But I always teach, first and foremost, what we really want to do is make sure that you're aware of where you are and you don't get into the fight. Yep. If you don't get into the fight, nobody gets hurt.
Yeah, because de-escalation is a huge piece of that with any kind of training. So I talked about that with Jeff for martial arts and everything else. De-escalation is the best thing you can do ever in situational awareness. And so along with that is, we're going to get deeper into training in the next segment. But so a couple of things people need to realize is, when you can carry, when you can't carry. Because we talked about this. You normally carry except for coming into this building.
Sure.
Well, it's not authorized in here, right? So,
well, there's a lot of things. And we talk about, as you had, situational awareness. You want to be aware. But also, there are places you can and you cannot carry. That's legalese, the legal part of it.
Yeah.
Is if there's, in Texas, of course, if there's a sign, we'll call them 30-06, it's 3006 or 3007. And they both relate to both concealed carry and open carry, because Texas is an open carry state.
Yep.
We started that in January 1st, 2016, and we now allow open carry. Establishments have the right to post these signs, and they have to be the right size, they have to be the right color, and they have to be in both Spanish and in English. So if it's not posted right, you see those signs that just has a gun with a red circle on it, that doesn't count.
Yep.
But if they have the proper signs, then legally you cannot carry.
Yep.
You know, and I always say you want to follow the law. You want to be there, but you also want to be situationally aware, and that's the number one thing we want to talk about is, are you able to carry, and are you going to be aware when you are? Because you don't want to get into that fight, and that's where the use of force and de-escalation. You mentioned de-escalation.
Yeah. And we'll get into that in the next segment here.
Yeah.
I want everybody to know that, well, I'm usually concealed carry most of the wintertime, and I'm open carry during the summer because, you got 2 guns. But we'll be right back after these messages from our sponsors. Come back, we're going to get deep into the training, why you need to train, and health around weapons.
What does it mean to devote your life to the truth? Does it mean investigating communist subversion here in America? Does it mean exposing the deadly fentanyl crisis in the Midwest? Or spending late nights and covering deep government corruption? Does it mean persevering over 20 years, even after 4 masked men set one of our printing presses on fire last year? Because at a time when America's traditional values are under attack, it's the responsibility of righteous journalists to uphold truth and tradition.
Introducing IV Hookup.
IV treatments have been the standard of care used for years to deliver intravenous hydration treatment to patients. Our medical director has created a safe, industry-standard protocol to efficiently support your wellness through IV vitamin hydration, including options for athletic performance, mood enhancement, general wellness, and hangover recovery. IV Hookup now offers full-spectrum COVID-19 testing at reasonable prices. This means we can get you and your staff tested in a quick time frame. Are you hosting a group event? We can provide a customized package for IV treatment and COVID testing as well. IV Hookup is everything you need to both stay healthy and to prove it.
Go to ivhookup.com to order yours, and we'll bring it right to you. That's ivhookup.com.
All right, we're back here with Rick Kolster, and we're going to start talking about some training. And so, since you're doing weapons training, one of the big issues, I want to hop on this one right quick because we were talking about this earlier. One of the big issues is, well, your ability to train is limited by what you have for training, which is you can't find ammo right now. So I want to talk a little bit about that little scenario issue that's going on because everybody hears about it. I can't find anywhere. Well, there's 7 million brand new owners. Mm-hmm. But that and some of the training modalities around that, whenever you don't have.
There's a lot of ways that you can train, and again, training. If someone has the opportunity to train, what I can tell you is get out, take a class, train. We talk about the LTC, the license to carry in the state of Texas. Great legal training. You now have the right and the legal right to carry a weapon, but do you have the ability to do that? Can you use it? And I highly recommend get training. Get serious training after you get your LTC. Train. So you talk about the ammo shortage that we have. Yeah. Well, think about this. We had 7 million new gun owners in 2020. Through the pandemic time, gun sales were at all-time high. Oh, yeah. And if you give every single new gun owner gets 100 rounds, that's 2 boxes of rounds. That's 2 boxes of bullets, right? That's 700 million rounds. So if you make 700 million rounds more than you've ever made before, that's a lot of stuff.
Yes, it is.
Regardless of what it is, but you're talking about ammunition. And ammunition comes in all different shapes and sizes. There's hundreds of different types of ammo. So the manufacturers simply are overwhelmed. And that's part of the reason for the shortage. And the price is going up. And it's a true supply and demand right now. So there are other ways to train as well. You can dry fire. I do a lot of dry fire, what they call dry fire training.
Yeah, explain that one so people
know. Well, dry fire is just a way where you fire without ammunition. Now, there are some tools out there that you can use. There's some great things. I use a thing called Mantis X.
Yeah, you're showing the app that you had, and it shows like your movement. It's amazing.
It tells me exactly where I shoot, how I shoot. But here's the note. Think about dry fire. You also want to know when dry fire, safety, safety, safety.
Yep.
When you're going to do this practice, you don't want to hurt anyone. You want to make sure that you're safe. You want to follow the 4 safety rules. Number 1, treat every gun as if it's loaded.
Yep.
Number 2, don't point the barrel at anything you're not willing to destroy. Number 3, keep your finger off the trigger. Keep this booger hook off the bang switch, people.
Yep.
And number 4, know what your target is and what's beyond it. So find a safe place, find a wall that's a brick wall, empty the ammo out of the room, unload the gun, check the gun, double check the gun, triple check the gun. Take all the ammo out of the room, and then you can dry fire. So what it does is it allows you to practice, get the repetitions in. It's like anything else. When you work out, you get better at sit-ups because you do a lot of sit-ups. You get better at bench pressing because you do a lot of bench pressing.
A whole lot of muscle memory. It's just it's repetition.
And that's what it is. It becomes muscle memory. And that's why training is so important with the firearm, because it's muscle memory. Because when you're in a situation, if you're in a life and death situation, a lot of things are going on. Your brain's turning on, your adrenal glands are turning on, your heart rate's up, your blood pressure's up, and what happens is all the blood flow leaves your extremities in those high stress situations, and it goes to your internal, into your body, because your body's protecting yourself. It knows something's going on here. You get shot, get hurt in the arm, it's not going to hurt as bad if you get hurt in something where there's vital organs. So the blood flow changes. So it also changes what you're able to do. Muscle dexterity, gross motor skills versus fine motor skills. So again, it's training. Fall back on your training.
Yeah. So we talked about this with Jeff, and this was interesting. So the fight or flight response.
Yeah.
What happens whenever something really does happen? Somebody grabs you. So he talked about a girl. She's been training martial arts forever. Got grabbed her, and she just froze. She's like, I can't believe it. I've been training forever. I just froze when the guy grabbed me. What? Because that had just never happened in the training scenarios. Nobody just runs up and grabs you.
And that's what happens is we don't make it realistic. Now, a lot of the training scenarios that we see in the firearms industry is go to the range, put out a target, put some holes in a piece of paper. The realistic training that we can do is get out on a range where you can move, get outside where you can move, whether you're hitting paper targets, moving targets, you're hiding behind cover. You want to know the difference between cover. You want to know the difference between concealment. You really want to be able to see the difference and practice these different scenarios that might happen. Because again, muscle memory.
Well, and there's also, I love this from Spider-Man, with great power comes great responsibility. And holding, owning, maintaining a weapon and carrying it with you, that is some huge responsibility and power right there for somebody. Because one, everybody around you, you're a protector for them.
Yes, you
as
are.
a main protector of yourself, and then you've got to be aware of everybody around you and make sure you don't make any mistakes.
Well, that's the difference between a hero and a zero.
Yeah, exactly.
You think about it. If there's a situation, and let's say there's a situation, you're at a restaurant, and all of a sudden somebody comes in, a gunman comes in, and starts shooting the place up or waving a gun around. If you're a concealed carry permit holder and you draw your weapon and you miss and you hit grandma behind the guy, you went from hero to zero pretty damn quick. So again, we always teach, number one, de-escalation. Number two is to be a good witness. And last resort is to use that firearm. And if you haven't had training, be a good witness. Run, hide, fight. And those are the 3 responses that we teach. Is first thing you want to do is run, hide, and fight. Get out of there. If you find you can't run, then hide. And if you can't hide and you can't run, then you're going to have to fight.
Yep. And speaking of, you got to be in shape to do that.
Yeah, you do.
So we talked about this a little bit earlier, and you're in fantastic shape now.
Well,
okay?
Thank you.
So one, what's your secret? Okay. And two, so the other part of that is you do need to train and be able to move around, and it is a safety factor for why you need to train, because you have no idea what's going to happen. Your car might break down. You might have to walk for 5 miles. Who knows? Or you're going to be in the middle of a firefight because something.
And you'll find that
happens.
being in shape. And thank you. I'm a former collegiate athlete. I played 2 sports in college, and I've been a competitive triathlete. So I've stayed in shape. But as I get older and the gray comes in and the age comes along, I found that the things that got me there won't keep me where I need to go, won't get me where I need to go. So I began a program probably about 16 years ago called DDPY. It stands for Diamond Dallas Page's Yoga, for yoga that wouldn't be caught, guys that wouldn't be caught doing yoga. And he's a former pro wrestler, and he created a program called DDPY that allows you to help protect your joints, do it safely. There's no heavy pounding, there's not running, there's not slamming weights, there's none of this. And it really helps you engage your muscles. It helps you get flexibility, strength, and cardiovascular work. And that's what I do primarily. And I walk with my wife because we like to walk and talk. Yeah, we talked about that because that's your together time. Yeah, and that's also, mental fitness is also important. And having that balance and that mental fitness as well, which is what we do at the Peak Performance Groups, we help people find that balance where they really are. So you can absolutely have that mental fitness. And even carrying a firearm, there has to be a level of mental fitness that you're prepared, if necessary, what you're going to do. So you work those scenarios out in your head. And that's something that we think about all the time, whether it's through practice, dry firing, lifetime on the range, or just walking around, is being aware of your situation, is always being mentally prepared. Yeah, and it goes back to your leadership stuff, because whenever you have that, whenever you decide, okay, I'm going to carry, I'm going to be a protector for everybody, well, now you are in a leadership role. Yes, you are. Whether you know it or not, even if you are, back behind, hiding behind stuff, waiting to pick your shot or whatever, but still, you are in a major leadership role because, well, you're in the jungle and you're the defender, right? So you're out there to protect everybody else that's there. And that's the main piece of it. I think that gets lost a lot of the times in a lot of the media stuff, and because they want to pick the bad stories out, but they rarely, if ever, pick the stories of the guy that was there, that was concealed carry, that took care of the threat and led the situation, took care of the people that were there, and law enforcement shows up and it was taken care of before anything bad really happened. Well, it's really about as we stand as protectors. And they're few and far between, because average police response time is 7 to 10 minutes. Average bad guy time is 7
now.
to 10 seconds. It's something's going to happen now. Now, again, I always stress is last resort. If you can de-escalate, if you can escape, if you can leave, do that. If you see something happening, be a good witness. Hide if you have to. But the last resort is to use that firearm. Bottom line, that's it. And I can't stress that enough, because it's you have to be able to live with the ramifications of what happens that are going to be emotional, physical, and possibly financial and legal. So whenever people roll their sleeves up and get ready to work with you, I'm going to keep on using that. So how do they get a hold of you? Well, they can catch me at the Peak Performance Group at www.mypotentialplus.com, or they can catch me at rick@mypotentialplus.com. And we'll be happy to help them out, tell them more about what we do and how we help people grow and maximize their potential. All right, we're going to go back, get a little word from our sponsors. We'll be right back for a little bonus round with Rick, and we're just going to throw some questions out at him. That's right. Come back for the bonus.
Strong business has always been the clear economic indicator. Work Suites in Allen, Texas is just one of 18 locations in DFW and Houston that support your necessary transitions with full service and affordable workspaces for upgrading or downsizing your current workload. You need to be focused on growth. Trust the office experts and helpful staff at WorkSuites to take care of everything else, from dedicated phone lines and internet to furnished executive and co-working spaces. The OBBM Network has tripled our business in the short months we've been with WorkSuites and encourages you to step out boldly, make the tough decisions, and get back to work your way. Your nation depends on it. The OBBM Network acknowledges that this is a pivotal time in history, and it is clear the United States of America has been undermined by many of our elected officials for some time now. We want our local business audience to stand strong in the face of what we now understand, and to be empowered to grow our businesses on the local level beyond the limitations that have been imposed upon us. We believe it is in our national interest to inspire our communities through strong economic development, and additionally to hold our elected officials accountable for accurate representation of we the people. For that reason, we encourage you to go to WeStandForFreedom.com to learn about the National Write Your Congressman organization that has been the trusted communication tool for local communities for over 60 years. Learn how your representatives are voting. Understand the laws and regulations under consideration on the state and federal level before they are enacted at the county and city levels. Communicate directly with these officials and stand up for yourself, for by doing so, you will protect the communities you serve from tyrannical rule and unconstitutional reforms. The OBBM Network is the premier voice for local business, and we take that responsibility seriously. The OBBM Network has everything you need to grow and transition your business for success on popular syndicated podcast networks, Roku and other video channels, and the OBBM Network app. We work for you, local business, and we've got your back.
All right, we're back in the jungle for the bonus rounds. You have no idea what question is going to jump out.
I have no idea.
Okay, so lions, tigers, and bears. Oh my, get ready for this. So, first, what's in your pocket right now? What is in your pockets right now?
Okay, we call that everyday carry. In the firearms world, we call that, in the protector world, we call that everyday carry. So what is in your pocket that's your everyday carry? Well, as I sit here, I've set my firearm aside, so I'm not sitting here armed, but I always carry a knife, I carry a flashlight, I carry a tiny little multi-tool, of course my wallet, my money clip, and the keys to my car.
Yep.
That's on my person every time. And when I get up, they sit there on my dresser and everything goes in its pocket. So I'll always have a pocket knife, I'll always have a multi-tool, I'll always have a flashlight, little flashlight just in case I need it. And of course I forgot, I also have my challenge coin. So in case anybody challenges me, I always carry a Peak Performance Group challenge coin.
If you don't know what that is, well, that's a much longer conversation. Next question. So your book, you've done more than one book, right?
Yeah, we've got 2 books out.
Yeah. So tell everybody a little bit about your books.
Well, first book we wrote was called Selling for Geniuses. It's really to help entrepreneurs.
Yeah, I remember that.
We help entrepreneurs, really those that are experts in their field of endeavor, whatever they are, but may not be experts in selling. We know you're still an expert.
Yep.
You're a genius at what you do.
You just can't talk to people.
Some people are great at some things. Selling is one of them. So we gave them basically a handbook on how to sell their business, learn how to sell their business. The second book is called Roll Up Your Sleeves and Get to Work. And that's the one that you've got here. It's the bald truth about getting things done and making things happen. And that book is really about 3 things. It's about maintaining the right attitude, making sure you make a commitment to whatever you decide to do, and then how do you put it into action. It's really about the right mindset. It's about the commitments that you'll make, the goals that you set for yourself, and then what actions will you take and how do you really take action? Because you can make all the promises in the world, make all the goals in the world, but if you never take action, nothing ever happens. Yeah. And that's really what it was all about. And it's how to get into action, how to overcome some of these mindset challenges, attitudinal belief systems that may be holding you back as an individual. Because really what we've heard, 95% of our basic attitudes are developed before the age of 5 years old.
Oh yeah.
So the belief systems that we carry with us can come from our parents. And our parents aren't trying to hurt us or harm us, but they've told us don't talk to strangers. Well, for salespeople, guess what? Don't talk to strangers, you're probably never going to make a sale.
Yeah, that's all they do all day.
So we give you a way and a process in order to overcome some of those challenging beliefs that you may be holding on to, identify them, reframe them, and put together the right beliefs that'll get you where you want to go. Show you how to set goals, put them into action, and then show you how to put action steps behind that.
Okay. All right. One more bonus question. So what's your favorite motorcycle? Because if people don't know, you
Harley Road Glide.
Yeah.
That's an easy question.
That's an easy question.
I love my Road Glide. I've got a Road Glide. I ride as much as I possibly can. And I try to get out and take trips when we can. And it's getting to be that time of the year. So
I know that the pictures are going to be out there.
They will be.
Of you on the bike. So because just nice little tidbit for everybody out there. Because bikers love bikers.
Yeah.
My dad rode for a long time until he gave it up about 3 years ago. Mm-hmm. But so yeah, he was always on a motorcycle.
I don't know if I'm ever going to give it up. Maybe I might hate to say it. I might have to go to a tricycle at some stage of my life, but not for quite some time.
Yeah.
I guarantee that.
Yeah, he was. My dad was actually part of the baddest biker gang ever, because they can shoot you and arrest you.
Yeah,
it's all law enforcement. So
yeah,
but yeah, I thought that was just a cool little tidbit just to throw out there.
Sure.
About daily life, and then I saw that. Of course, you're married.
I'm married.
Doing great.
Having a blast. Got 2 beautiful daughters. I've got 2 beautiful grandbabies, and matter of fact, my granddaughter's going to turn 1 on Saturday. So I'm kind of excited about that.
So that's the bald truth right there.
And that's the bald truth.
It's the bald truth right there. So one more time, how does everybody get a hold of you?
Well, you can get a hold of me at rick@mypotentialplus.com or www.mypotentialplus.com. That's our website, and you can catch us there and connect with me there.
All right, perfect. Thank you for coming on. It's an awesome show. Loved having you on here because I've wanted to do this for a while.
Yeah, it's been a blast. I had fun.
Yeah.
We can talk about all kinds of stuff. Going all different directions, that's for sure.
Yes, we can. And for everybody else out there, Clint Fuqua, the health engineer, right here on the Offbeat Business Media Network. Check out all the rest of the shows. You're going to love the content we have here. We are epic now.
The Health Engineer is produced by Offbeat Business Media for the OBBM Network and made possible through the generous support of sponsors and viewers like you. For program information, call 214-714-0495. The Health Engineer, Offbeat Business Media LLC, OBBM, Network trademarks, and all portions of this broadcast are produced for the exclusive use of the OBBM Network and affiliates, and may not be reproduced without written permission by Offbeat Business Media LLC. All inquiries are directed to call 214-714-0495.